A clawed hand emerged and slammed into the ground, causing malevolent energy to surge. Lu Sheng went on alert and, without losing a single second, leapt back. Just then, the hand moved like a thunderclap and appeared behind Lu Sheng, ready to snatch him. Noticing this, Lu Sheng activated his power, and his eyes began to shine with seriousness, realizing it was time to get serious. The hand attacked again, trying to crush Lu Sheng like a fly, but he wasn't going to give up so easily. In the blink of an eye, with his body surrounded by martial energy, Lu Sheng dodged out of the attack's range, avoiding being crushed and realizing his opponent had no chance of catching him. A demonic eye appeared, its attention fixed on Lu Sheng, considering him a cunning insect that it wouldn't allow to escape. The hand began to change shape, now sporting an eye. Lu Sheng approached it and with a serene expression, recognized that his opponent was trying to use the same trick to drag him back into that gray bubble rift space. It was a shame, having fallen for it once, it was impossible for him to be caught again. While Lu Sheng's eyes were shining with determination, he clenched his fist tightly and began to gather all his martial energy into it, making it clear that the same move won't work twice on a saint. Concentrating all his martial power, Lu Sheng unleashed a powerful blast of energy, which began to speed toward the monster. The monster focused, its eye began to glow, and in an instant, it absorbed the energy blast Lu Sheng had unleashed. Noticing this, with a furious gaze, Lu Sheng gave the monster the middle finger. A portal appeared behind him, and with a smile, he bade it farewell, daring the creature to follow him. The monster grew enraged, and its eye began to glow with anger, vowing that it would definitely catch him. Lu Sheng couldn't help but smile with an arrogant expression, telling it they could talk when it was actually able to catch him and that, for now, it didn't need to see him off. With no more time to waste, Lu Sheng emerged to the surface and began to walk on the water in silence, lost in thought. Lu Sheng closed his eyes, scratched his head, and let out a sigh. He realized it couldn't truly get out, so there was nothing he could do against it. Lu Sheng extended his hand and golden energy began to emerge from it. With a serene gaze, he decided to use the power of origin to deduce the future of Blue Star. Not long after, a system window appeared, revealing that Blue Star would be destroyed in 7 years. Lu Sheng was in shock, not knowing what to do. His eyes widened in confusion. The deadline had shortened by another year. He figured his incessant provocation had enraged his opponent so much that it was breaking through faster. Lu Sheng placed his hand under his chin and began to ponder in silence. 7 years was definitely enough time to relocate all the humans from Blue Star. But to be safe, he could finish it in 3 years. Then his eyes widened in surprise as a new possibility occurred to him. What if, when it escaped from the abyss, it didn't just cause a catastrophe that destroyed a single planet? Lu Sheng began to imagine several planets and a demonic eye that, instead, engulfed an entire star region, or even an entire galaxy. With a nervous gaze, he extended his hand and martial energy began to surge from it. If that was the case, this was a serious matter, and he had better perform another projection. While Lu Sheng was floating above the surface of the sea, several system windows appeared in front of him, revealing that the future of the entire Serpentis galaxy was being deduced. Several minutes later, a system window revealed that, 7 years later, the Dark Lord would invade. With the destruction of the White Mist Star, the Serpentis galaxy had become the frontline battlefield of the Dark Side universe. Seeing this, Lu Sheng's eyes filled with surprise and his jaw dropped in shock, realizing that, because of him, countless life forms throughout the entire Serpentis galaxy had their lifespans shortened by a year. Lu Sheng clenched his fist tightly and began to gaze at the sea in silence. Then his eyes began to shine with determination and a smile spread across his face. Now, every one of his movements affected the future of the entire star system, and he had to atone for the mistakes he had made. As blue martial energy surrounded Lu Sheng, he clenched his fist tightly. The image of his planet being destroyed came to his mind. Then the image of the demonic eye clouded his thoughts. He had 7 years. Only 7 more years. Within that time, Blue Star would be destroyed. The barrier between the Dark Side universe and this universe would be massively torn apart. The Dark Lord would invade, the White Mist Star would be destroyed, and the entire Serpentis galaxy would become the front line of the battle. Our boy began to imagine a worm entering an apple. If an insect bit into its peel, the people inside would suffer, or he could pierce the peel, go outside, and kill all the insects, thus mitigating this crisis. Not long after, the worms began to devour the apple. The other option was to wait until the peel was completely eaten away. Lu Sheng's eyes began to shine with determination, vowing to be the one to close that breach. as he only had these two options. Lu Sheng clenched his fist tightly and began to stare at it, knowing that, either way, he needed immense power to back him up. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill the insects but would be devoured instead. It was nighttime, and Lu Sheng was lost in thought. He knew that a Dark Lord capable of causing the fall of an entire galaxy must be at least level 14 or 15. And he wondered at what age the future projection had said he would reach that level himself. Lu Sheng snapped out of his trance and his eyes began to shine. He remembered 100,000 years, 7 years versus 100,000. Faced with this, he could only give it his all. Without wasting a single second, Lu Sheng extended his hand, and his martial power began to surge from it. Without much effort, Lu Sheng concentrated his energy, which caused a shark in the sea to rise to the surface. Then, Lu Sheng began to look intently at the eye in the palm of his hand and, with a serene expression, decided to borrow it. Lu Sheng tore the demonic eye from his palm. While his eyes were shining with curiosity, he approached the shark and shoved the demonic eye into its mouth. The shark was confused, not knowing what was happening. Then, the shark's eye began to change, and malevolent energy started to emerge from its eye. The shark's form began to change. It grew demonic teeth and limbs with sharp claws. It had transformed completely. Far from being furious, the shark turned to Lu Sheng and smiled, as if it were his pet. Observing carefully, Lu Sheng realized that it had worked. He had succeeded in installing the mutation cell into this level 8 beast. The shark leapt and dove back into the water. Slowly, the mutant shark began to descend toward the seabed. Lu Sheng remained silent. He would leave it there as a spy to monitor the progress of the digging in the abyss. The shark began to devour the fish that crossed its path. For Lu Sheng, it didn't matter if the mutant cell ran into trouble. At most, he would only lose a bit of spiritual energy, as its main body was still within him. Meanwhile, on the surface of the Ninghai Sea, it was daytime, and the yacht was sailing at full speed. Several hours later, while his wife Snowy was enjoying the view, Lu Sheng descended gracefully nearby and began to walk towards her. Noticing this, with a relieved gaze, she turned around and couldn't help but feel joyful upon seeing he had returned. Lu Sheng took his wife's hand, began to look into her eyes, and with a loving expression, he proposed that they go to another planet. Snowy felt somewhat surprised and confused by Lu Sheng's sudden suggestion. Without hesitating for a single second, she hugged Lu Sheng, closed her eyes, and accepted, letting him know she would do whatever he said. Lu Sheng hugged her back, realizing that she was the woman of his life. The next day, Lu Sheng departed from Blue Star in the White Hole shuttle, traveling more than a dozen light years towards a brilliant star. His ship approached a star that looked like the sun. Our boy's eyes widened in surprise and confusion as his attention fixed on something. In front of him was a giant and dazzling star, like the sun. As martial energy covered our boy's body, he realized that this must be the most suitable martial training ground for him now. Thanks for watching Vivify Recaps. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and drop your next recap request in the comments. See you in the next one.